Hello.
Hi. Oh, I don't know how to pause.
Welcome to our Divine Origin Forum. Tonight's topic is your 5D self. Please remain muted as we start with an opening prayer. We call the benevolent beings of light, archangels, and ascended masters to guide and inspire us during this forum. Our forum's vision is to bring the understanding, tools, discipline, and support for those seeking to enter the straight and narrow path, the road less traveled, that will lead us along effectively and steadily through the ascension process. Integration of the human experience with our divine origin is moving us full circle to achieve our divine potential. So be it. We thank you for answering the call from on high to attend the forum. Let us join our hearts and minds in preparation to receive the blessings offered. We ask you to please release your day from your mind and center yourself. Breathe in deeply and release. Breathe in deeply and release. Take one last deep breath in and release. Relax the tension in your body and your mind. Now bring your full attention to the forum. Be fully present in order to receive and fully retain the discourse gifts. Christine, can you please start the quote?
So Dolores Cannon's short video was saying everything that we talk about here about paying off karma, about getting our frequency raised up so we can keep up with the progression of everything. That is why I use these supporting materials so that you can hear it from other people that you respect and know that they know quite a bit from their work, from their involvement with other people. And it's a beautiful thing to hear confirmation whenever you hear something from someone else. It's so nice to hear confirmation. It brings you to another level of understanding. And so, if you would, I listen to everything tomorrow morning. I listen to it because I've heard it once, but then it goes deeper the next time I hear it. I don't know what I say on the discourse or the closing statement. So that's another reason why I listen to it so I can hear what I said to you. And it's a delight to hear that it's good information. It's how I have been practicing since I've been a kid. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you,
Enjoy your
Barbara.
evening.
Christine, this is not recorded. Barb, can we please have your discourse?
Yes, thank you. Your 5D self. You know, I picked this out. I searched for it to tell you the truth, a Dolores Cannon from 2012, because I knew her name from her books that I saw at the bookstore. I never read them. I never listened to her, but she talks just like me. She tells you just like it is. And that's why I can't stop smiling when I listen to her. She's very wise. And she started out so much like me, just a regular housewife, having kids, working, going to school, just the whole gamut. And then one day I was asked to do the spiritual journeys, the sacred journeys around the world. Who ever thought in a million years that this simple, humble, nothing person in my own right, just working and doing what any other regular person does, would be asked to do something so responsible? Well, Dolores had the same thing, only she didn't have to travel. She had people come to her. and they told their stories, and she found a way to hypnotize them into a very deep, specific type of almost sleep state, that where you dream, bring it to that level. And she would bring these people back into all the way to the beginning. She would let them just roll where they wanted to go. And she learned so much, and that's what all her books are about. And that's what she speaks about, what she learned over all those years.
Recording
Well,
progress.
okay. The wonder of your 5D self is this unfettered consciousness that just exists and seeks to know itself. That's our work here. Seek to know yourself. And as you do, you keep raising your frequency, taking in light, opening yourself up, clearing away all the junk that we collected, lightening ourselves up, making room so that we can expand ourselves into this amazing consciousness. There is nothing standing in your way except your lack of focus. Nothing. The world just lures us into a dream that we woke up from last week when we had our forum. That was our wake-up call, because we can't live in that dream. We want to see reality. We want to live it. We want to understand it. And we want to understand our part that we play. We are receptors of light, and that magnificent light expands from you, all around you, touching everyone. When you started out here, so many, I don't even know, what is it, eons of time, when we decided to come to this planet, totally forgetting all that we learned, all that we are, all of our abilities, everything was gone, wiped away from our consciousness, so that we could come here and get rid of the stuff we picked up that's actually blocking us from the totality of ourself. We have experiences that are very, very painful. And we knew before we came here, we knew what we were getting into. But of course, it was wiped from our consciousness. So in our subconscious, it remained. What is your true 5D self? I want you to think about that, because you know what it's like to be a 3D person, getting angry, getting hurt, allowing the world to run you, to keep having circumstances repeat itself until you start to scratch your head and say, whoa, I have done this 100,000 times. When is this going to change? And your higher self smiles and says, she got it, or he got it. They see it. And that's the moment you question it. And when you do, you give permission to move out of it. Because now that you recognized it, you're going to do something about it. It's too painful to stay there. I was in a loop with Charlie, my husband. We could not communicate. Our Mercury in our charts are opposite. And for years, we couldn't get a conversation out without the two of us frustrated. And I spoke to my friend that was dabbling in astrology. And she looked at both our charts and she said, Barbara, I'm telling you, how you ever have a conversation that you can get along no less, understand each other is beyond me. And I said, well, what's the deal with this? How do you fix that? And she said, it's going to take a lot of conscious effort on either one of your parts. And she looked at me long, and I said, you're looking at me like it's my thing I have to do. And she smiled and shook her head, yes. So I took that on. And now we can actually have a conversation and talk about things. And if we don't understand each other, we ask each other questions. It's beautiful and it's holy. And I know it didn't happen by itself. It happened because I made it a priority. Everything having to do with our spirituality, it must be a priority. The world that we create around us, we've done this before. We've repeated so many times with the same people because they knew us best, over and over and over, just trying to get past, as she calls, lessons. And once we do, we can move on. It's been a long road for all of us, but the progression that you've made brought you to this forum and other places where you can learn the deeper truths so that you don't continue to suffer at your own hand. When she was saying they told you what you're going to do and they expected you to do it, she's actually talking about our own higher self, the guides that we have working with us, angels, archangels, benevolent beings, unascended beings that are very wise. Also, that's who they are. They worked with us to make our plan to come in, and we knew this lifetime was the one. If we don't pull it off this time, when everything's lining up for 5D to come in, and we don't have the frequency we need, oh, do I want to do this again? Or do you want to do this again? That's something for you to decide. And then you say to yourself, well, how the heck am I going to do this? I don't even know, like, really what is my patterns that I have to get rid of? It's easy. And I'll tell you why. Whatever causes you stress, whatever doesn't work out for you, that you do, and you've done it before and it still doesn't work out, those are the things you ask your higher self. What is it that I'm missing here? What do I need to see? What do I need to know? And how do I fix it? And that's where the magic begins. You have asked and you shall receive. And it'll come in different ways. You'll read something that is the perfect thing for you to read and go, oh my God, I never thought of it that way. Or somebody will say something in a conversation and you'll sit there going, how did they know that I needed that information? Or you'll be in a circumstance that brings it up, but you're consciously aware of what's happening and you don't react the way you did before. What happened with me is I stopped reacting to what was being said to me. And when I did that for the first time, if you had ever seen my husband's face, he could not believe I didn't do the usual. And he didn't know what to do. And it was the end of the confusion. Just walked away and let it be. And I just stood there and I said to myself, okay, so if I'm always answering, now I'm going to be quiet. If I'm always quiet, now I'm going to be saying something. I'm going to switch it up and see what works. And that was the experiment that I did. And with other people as well. When I saw that people didn't hear me or didn't understand what I was trying to say or misinterpreted what I said, I would apologize to them. And I found that very difficult when I was very, very young. And I started apologizing, shocking the living lights out of the people that were around me. And I saw their response was beautiful. They forgave me. and they wanted to understand what is going on with you. You're so nice. And I said, you know what? I'm starting to know myself better, and I'm starting to understand life a lot more. And then I would tell them how much I care about them and love them, and I'm really sorry if I hurt their feelings. Do you know how beautiful that is, that you can do that? That you can be honest, that you can say what normally would be very difficult for you to admit, and actually admit it, because you're just talking to yourself. And that's what I discovered, this idea of oneness. People don't understand what that means. What that really means is we are only seeing a reflection of ourself off of every single energy field of another person, but we think it's them. And what they do when they're with us, the energy is working together, where they say things that you think it's them and they've got a problem, but they're actually responding to the energy coming off of you, and vice versa. You see, there are people that come to us to show us. There's people that come to us to get that information from us. So that's the oneness. We're all working together to bring us the understanding of who we are, what we do, how we act, so that we can heal, that we can become that beautiful potential that we have waiting for us, that we've expressed in other lifetimes. We come in different for different reasons. Sometimes we come in just to be the light in the world. We're the happiest person. Nothing can take that away from us. Sometimes we come in as a religious figure and spend a life, in prayer and silence and praying and just kind of recharging and being a help in that way. Other times we come in to be to be the ones we don't want to hang out with, so that we can learn from that too, because we're everything. And like she mentioned, and I've mentioned, there is no right and wrong, good or evil. There's just us learning. We're all learning, growing, hopefully growing, consciously living so that we can hear ourselves and know what our faults are, what our fears are, of how we brush people off as if they're nobody when they're everybody. The ones that seem so unholy are the holiest. They don't have to put on an act. They don't have to be something special. They are special, and they're content with that. They don't need kudos. They don't need to make a name for themselves. They're just there. They seem simple. They seem plain, but they're very, very special. They came here to show us rowdy ones, us yucky ones, us always running and doing and being out there and trying to fix the world, that you don't have to do that. You just have to be a steady light. That's all you have to be, and really get to know yourself. Some things I looked at, oh my God, I didn't like it. It hurt me to even think that I could be so mean or discontent with everything. And now I've learned to just look at it with intelligence and with respect. I went through a really tough experience. It was really, for me, life and death. And I kept thanking God for having it resolved as I was going through all of the things that I knew I had to do to save my own life. And when I felt scared, I cried that out, or I let it go. When I felt sad, I let the tears come. I took care of the emotions, that is the humanness in me. And then I was strong enough, because I brought in enough light and faith and hope, that I could say what I needed to say and do what I needed to do And it all happened. It all happened just the way that I knew it needed to be. I didn't give up. And I'll tell you, I had some tough customers to work with, but I did what I needed to do. And I gathered all the strength that I had to do it. You can do it too. On segment 2 tonight, I want you to think about the 3D version of you and the times that you know that you were in your 5D, that you were tapped into that sacred place in your heart. I want you to think about that. And that's what I'd like you to talk about tonight, because we've been there and you know you have. You know when you were in your strength at times of challenge. I passed the test. I did it with the help of everybody that works with me. Charlie was right standing with me, hugging me, telling me to keep going, do what you need to do. But he said something very wise. And what he said to me was, do you think that if it didn't work out the way you said that you knew in your heart that it needed to, that it was going to be okay? Because perhaps if it happened that way, that it would be not what you wanted, but it would turn out all right. And I really gave it some thought. And I said, you know what? If it didn't turn out the way that I, in my heart, felt that it was right, I do trust that whatever happened would have been for my highest good. Yep. Don't fight anymore. Surrender. Surrender to God. Ask the right questions, and you will get the answers. That's what Jesus taught us. He said, knock and the door will open. That's you asking. And you shall receive. You shall receive. That's not like maybe if you're a good girl today, maybe if you do the right thing today, you shall receive. But it doesn't act out the way we think it should. So we think we didn't get our prayer answered because we get another opportunity to see what's blocking it. Do you see this? This is how it works. And most people say to me, I did everything right and I did my prayers and I did it, but it didn't work out. I didn't get what I wanted. I said, yes, you did. From what you told me, that extra experience was required for you to see why you're not getting where you wanted to be. You see? This is the underlying story that you don't hear most places. Fighting is not the answer. It's the very thing you want to stay away from. It is in the surrender and the trust that your higher self is working with you always. Why? Because you are becoming her or him. That's who you truly are. This body has really, even though it's an amazing technology, that's not who you are. You've been in a million bodies, male, female, big, tall, little, large. You've been in all, every color of the rainbow. And now you're here in this body with all this under your belt. And then somebody here and other places reminding you, this is the journey, but you will have success if you make it a priority, a focus. It's like your daily bread. That's what that's all about. It's not the food. It's the nourishment from on high. Jesus said, you'll never thirst if you drink of the waters that I give you. And what his waters were is the truth of what life is all about. So to get off that crazy wheel, spinning round and round, all you got to do is finish up as much as you can in this lifetime. Make it your priority. Everything will be given to you. Everything. So for those listening on YouTube, I will continue later and you'll hear the closing statement. Please go to YouTube and you can also open up and see the quote. You can see the video. You can hear the song, which we're going to play next, but you won't hear it. But please join us. We have a wonderful time on segment 2 that you're not involved in, and we'd love to see you and hear you and have you join us. Okay? OurDivineOrigin.com is our website, and lots of good stuff on there. And Our Divine Origin is on the YouTube. It's a purple box with a white dove because there's others that are very similar names that is not us. Okay. All right. So God bless you. Thank you for listening, and we'll continue on from here.
Thank you, Barbara. Christine, this is not recorded. And can you please?
The song, Who Am I? You are a Christ in the making. Once you reach that frequency, you are Christed. And Jesus came here to assure you that you will find the way. He pointed in the right direction. His words are what you need to remember. It was a bit of a code. However, the energy behind the words were vibrating through your fields. When you read his words out loud, that vibration enters into your fields. Be very clear. When they were talking in the song, I was thinking about the vapor and the flower fading. That's our bodies. You see, our physical bodies. It's not our soul. Our soul never fades. All it does is expand, gets filled with the light and love of God, and becomes it. It isn't what you learn, it's what you become. It's how much you surrender to yourself. And that song brings that to my mind. Thank you. I'll say the rest for the closing statement.
Thank you, Barb. Christine, can you please pause your recording for segment 2? Barbara, can we please have your closing statement?
Yep. Your 5D self. What we discovered from the video and from discussion is that 5D self is already yours. It's just you have to do what you need to do to reach that level again. We came here with a lot of stuff we had to clean up. We had contracts and we had, there are agreements, but they're actually contracts. And we had missions to accomplish. A lot of it was too painful for us to wake up fully, even halfway, because it was an obligation that we had that we couldn't have done if we were in our heart like we are now. The 5D self is the self that's surrendered and allows life to play out, knowing that we have guides, angels, benevolent beings that may not be ascended, and those ascended that are helping us in every way, in every aspect of our life. And when you start trusting first yourself, you can move forward with a great sense of peace and clarity. No longer are you constantly questioning, is this right? Am I doing it right? Am I where I'm supposed to be? Am I late? Am I early? You stop that. You stop agonizing over all that and trust that you're right where you're supposed to be when you are where you are. That you ask and you shall receive the answers and the guidance. It will come in many, many different forms. It may even seem like it's the opposite of what you asked for. But if you're living consciously every moment, you're going to realize this has had to happen. And now I'm going to watch it play out so that I can get the gift from it. I can understand better. I can go beyond it. There is no limitations. It's only what you place on yourself by not being open, by not being willing to trust that your life is guiding you in the direction that you have to go in order to get where you want to go, which is deep inside your heart, to tap into that 5D self that is already yours for the taking. When you have days where you slip up and you're not there and you fall for everything that's happening, because that's what I say to myself, yep, you fell for it. You got all tangled up in 3D and let it happen. Yeah, well, okay, tomorrow's another day. But I learned from that. We learn from everything. There's no mistakes, there's no errors. There's just a learning experience playing out. The people that we're with, the people that we miss, the people that we think about, bless them. Just keep blessing them. The ones that have passed out of their physical bodies, they're very much alive and well, and they're with us. They never, ever leave us. They're attached at the heart. And there's there was an elderly lady, and her husband were always bickering together, and they were never getting along. But when he passed away, he became a saint, and that's all she talked about is her saintly husband. And everybody would giggle because that's not what we remember. However, he was there watching the whole thing. He did his job. He was done. And now he could watch the growth and the blessings of watching their loved ones come to into themselves. And they're helping us as well. They're watching, they're listening, and you can talk to them. They hear you. Even if you don't think you hear them, they hear you. Yeah. There's so much that we haven't come to understand. There's so much that is still a mystery to us. But I promise you, as you rise up in frequency, as you keep yourself lifting so that you can become that 5D self, everything will be given to you. You will know what you ask. It'll come in different ways, different forms. Sometimes it isn't just that it comes into your head like some people can do. Eventually it will. Eventually you'll hear your own higher self in a voice that isn't yours. For many, many years it was mine. But then you start hearing a voice that you recognize, but it isn't yours. And it is quite the experience, especially the first time it happens. It almost blows your mind. And you have to sit down and say, okay, I just heard a different voice than I always did. Wow. Wow. And then you get so used to it. You have conversations with your higher self. It's very enjoyable. It brings you so much more peace about the fact that you're safe, that you're watched, that you're helped. You're not alone. Even if you live alone, you're not alone. You're never alone. One night I woke up and my whole room was filled with beings. It was like, what the heck is going on here? But I made the mistake of asking Archangel Michael not to let them in anymore, even though they were beautiful. It's because I never got any sleep. I would wake up because I could sense their presence. Yeah. Don't send them away. They're really nice. And you'll know when you want to send something away because it won't feel very nice. And it's all around everybody. So don't think you're being picked on. Live fearlessly. Know that you are a divine being. You're here on a mission. Some of us, many missions, and many of us, many missions. and that we have missions yet to fulfill. You'll be protected and safe. Like Barbara was saying, when we were on a sacred journey together and with others, we knew that no matter what was going on in that country, bombs were happening everywhere, but it wasn't going to happen to us. The people, we always had military with us when we needed it in Israel and Egypt. But I'm telling you, it wasn't us asking for it. We knew God had his hand upon us and we would be fine. You see? You have to remember you're a divine being. You're not your average Joe walking around in a sleep state anymore. You came here with a great mission to be that conductor of light, to be the beacon in the darkness, to be the love that's missing in this world, to be the truth, not just say the truth, to be the truth, to be the love, to be the light. You become it. You become all this because that is who you really are. We are the expression of God, the Creator. We are a spark from that great light that He is. She is, whatever. And just when you really start to believe this, that you're not just this body, you're not just these problems in your life, you are much more than that, then you'll start to heal. You'll start to trust. You'll start to feel free, that freedom of being at peace and feeling the comfort of your love and the people in your life. You'll draw all the most beautiful people and they will support you. They will be there for you. And you will be there for them. Being the light in the world is why you came. And on that note, I'm going to close. And I thank you so much for listening. I hope that tonight was as blessed to you as it is to me. Thank you for being attentive. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you next week. Robin?
Thank you, Barbara. Christine, this continues to be recorded. I will read our closing prayer. Please remain muted. We are deeply grateful for this forum. We thank those in attendance for your attention, for your wonderful questions, comments, and stories that touched our hearts and opened our minds to new possibilities. Our collective energy has filled this forum with light and love for each other. We are so grateful that each of us brings guides and angelic beings to the forum, raising the frequency ever higher. We are grateful for the assistance, inspiration, and guidance from the benevolent beings overseeing the forum. Know we are all deeply loved and richly blessed. So be it. We invite all of you to remain for a 10-minute prayer before saying goodnight to each other. We will be closing the evening with a planetary prayer as our collective call for the light to bless every kingdom upon the earth, to create a new heaven and a new earth. The words are on the screen to help you recite this beautiful prayer. Christine, can you please start the planetary visualization video?
So let's sit nice and tall in our seats, our feet on the ground. Straighten up your spine. Let that light be able to move nicely through your body. Feel your feet on the floor. Call up that light into your feet, up your legs, the trunk of your body, your arms, hands, up your neck and in your head as it loops back down into the earth, through your body, out the soles of your feet in a continuous flow. Let's begin setting everything into motion. I call for the divine Christ radiance to surround me,
For the divine Christ
hermetically
radiance
sealing
to
around me.
surround
Nothing but
hermetically
love can
sealing
penetrate
around
this
me.
seal
Nothing
of
but love
divine
can
light.
penetrate the seal of divine
I
light.
call for the divine light to enter my crown directly from source, moving through every atom, molecule, cell, and energy within my body and fields. The flow of divine light moves through my body into the earth, out through the soles of my feet, continuing in a steady flow and building in potency. I ask my higher self to connect my heart with the other prayer warriors all over the world, to create a unified effort as one mind, one heart, one intent. I call to the benevolent beings of light for their assistance. I ask my higher self to add power to the words of this planetary visualization. Now let us rest in the divine light, concentrating on our breath and on the light flowing. Let it clear your mind, breathing in the divine light and hold it. Now breathe out the divine light. Breathing in the divine light, hold it. Now breathe out the divine light. One last time, breathing in the divine light, hold it. Now breathe out all the divine light. Extending your arms, turn the palms of your hands to face each other, about a foot apart. Visualize the earth and her atmosphere between your hands. The light will begin to flow into your hands and into the earth and her atmosphere. You'll feel it flowing. Let us call in the divine light. I am calling the violet ray as violet fire to flow directly from source into the earth's atmosphere, penetrating into the earth's surface all the way through to the core in a steady flow. I am calling the divine Christ radiance to move through my body, out through my hands and heart. The divine light is pouring into the earth's atmosphere, penetrating the surface and continuing to the center of the planet in a steady flow, blessing the earth in divine light. Now let us direct the divine light with authority. I am directing the divine light into the planetary grid lines, the electronic grid and meridian lines surrounding the earth, the ley lines crisscrossing the earth, repairing and charging these lines as the divine light moves in a continuous flow. I am directing the divine light to penetrate the kingdoms represented on earth and all life within each kingdom, the elemental, plant and food chain, the animal kingdom, human kingdom, angelic kingdom, and all kingdoms known and unknown. I am directing the divine light to penetrate the dimensions of the earth, penetrating these dimensions and all life within each dimension. I am directing the divine light to penetrate the waters of the earth, on the surface, under the surface, in the atmosphere, and all life within these waters, purifying the water as God intended in the beginning. I am directing the divine light to penetrate all land masses, the continents and islands of land upon the earth's surface, and all life living upon the surface and under the surface. I am directing the divine light to penetrate the cities, towns, and communities upon the land, and all life living within inhabited locations on the earth. I am directing divine light to penetrate all of humanity on earth, every man, woman, and child incarnated on earth, lifting them in the light, awakening and ascending ever higher as divine source intended from the beginning. I am directing the divine light to penetrate all species of animals on the land, flying in the sky, all organisms and elementals on the surface and beneath the surface of the earth. I am visualizing the benevolent beings of light upon the earth, assisting all humanity, showing us the way, guiding us, assisting those awakened, and embracing those just awakening, leading humanity to a higher reality and to bring the concepts of a higher order of divine love for yourself and others. Now breathing deeply, taking in the entire picture of all that you have visualized, marveling as you help create a new heaven and a new earth, filled with divine light, as divine source intended from the beginning. Let us express our gratitude. I am thanking the benevolent beings of light for their assistance and guidance. I thank my higher self for giving power to my words, manifesting my divine vision. I thank the divine light for its steady flow of purity to all creation. I thank Mother Earth for providing all of our needs from her abundance and beauty. I thank the angels in every color of the rainbow for their daily assistance and blessings. And I thank our divine source for all of creation. Concentrating on your hands as that light is pouring into the earth. And now place your hands upon your heart and feel the divine flow of light, giving thanks for being of service to our divine source. Now rest your arms, press your feet to the floor, become aware of your surroundings. And when you are feeling ready, open your eyes and return fully present. This visualization and directives of light is to co-create and manifest the transformation of our planet, giving back to her for all she offers to us. This is God's plan for this planet and all life upon her.
Christine,
So
I forgot to unmute again. You can stop the recording.